Hey guys, Adam Kovic here from Machinima and Inside Gaming, and I wanted to take this time to intro this documentary for you that you're about to watch and give you a little bit of insight into what you're about to see. Not only is the documentary about a few subcultures in gaming that you should find interesting, if not a little heartwarming, but it's also about something very near and dear to me. Part of the documentary follows a small group of students who are each competing to get an internship within the gaming industry. It's a personal belief of mine that hard work, dedication, and just plain old kindness will get you pretty far in just about any career, and those virtues are very self-evident throughout the film. So if you're interested in turning your passion of games into a career one day, you will hopefully get something special out of what you're about to see, and for everyone else, well, I hope you enjoy this small slice of subculture that we here at Machinima care very deeply about. So without further ado, please enjoy the film.
You know, a lot of people look at games as toys. I mean, and I remember I always hated that. I remember being a kid and playing Mario Kart with my dad, and my stepmom coming in and telling my dad, like, oh, you're 30-something years old, they shouldn't be playing with toys anymore.
My mother did not like video games.
They said it's a waste of time. I play a lot and they don't like it.
I remember even as a kid being like, it's more than, to me it was never a toy. A toy is a ball or an action figure. You know, games were always something much more to me.
With each new medium that's ever been created in the course of human history, there's always a generation gap.
I've played video games my whole life.
Because of the speed of technology, I think we're looking at the largest generation gap in the history of all mankind. The older generation does not get the concept of interactivity at all.
She doesn't understand it. She doesn't know what it is.
Because games are thought of as frivolous.
They thought we'd be better off playing outside.
Riding bikes, playing outside.
Art is always misunderstood as a waste of time by people who don't understand the heights to which art can take you. I think this is a really formative time for the games industry because we're now at the point where it's like, oh, okay, you can actually make more money in video games than you can in film. In terms of gross revenue, games now make more money than films. So that's a really big deal. There's something very clearly culturally relevant about that. Games might be the new dominant art form of the next generation.
In relative terms, gaming is at the place that cinema was when the talkies arrived. It's a very young industry, it's a very young medium.
We've seen the seeds of how amazingly insightful or impactful games can be. It has so much potential to do so many things that art should do, you know, educate or give you a certain feeling or make you think about things differently.
When I got into games, there were no university programs. There was no simple ways to go, oh, we do this and then you can get a job.
The hardest part about getting into the game industry is breaking into the industry. We're in the world of interactive entertainment. Those things are not going away.
The Christmas I was supposed to get Contra, my dad gave it to me in like July because they'd already bought it and he couldn't wait to play it. So he's just like, here you go, don't tell your mom. We would play Mario Kart for hours on end. I remember the Christmas I got Donkey Kong Country. We stayed up all night playing it. I guess I was like 11 or 12, you know? You don't stay up all night with your parent. That's weird. Sun comes out like 8 in the morning. He's like, you need to go to bed.
Video games aren't brand new. I mean, the history of video games goes back as far as the 50s, the 60s. You know, everybody goes back to the storied days of Pong when even my father would play video games.
It started off with, with just basic shapes like little circles and squares on the Atari. And you would have like 3 little squares be like a spaceship, and it just moved left and right and just shot a little square up, and that was your bullet. And that was a game. Then you go over to the Nintendo, and then you can move left and right and you can get power-ups. It's like, whoa, mind-blowing. You can turn your simple little pixel into something that shoots fireballs. I mean, that's crazy. It was so basic, so primitive. The ideas were just like, get through a stage, you know, that's all. You run left and right, and then you jump over things, and then you're done. It sounded so ridiculously simple, and it was. I mean, some games, literally, that's all you did. You just ran and you jumped, and that was the game. But as people started mastering those and started conquering the small basic challenges. Then there came the need to really, really add layers of difficulty and add so much depth to them.
Borderlands 2 launched in the fall, and we were really thrilled with how well it did, and we wanted to kind of keep that high energy going.
I spent probably 40 hours on the review of Borderlands 2. It's the highest score I've ever given a game. I gave it a 9.75. The highest I've given anything else is 9.5. But to this day, it's the highest score I've given.
So we came up with this idea of reaching out to people who are interested in being in games. Students who were studying animation, storyboarding, art, different things that go into making a game, and using the world of Borderlands as kind of a playground for them.
Personally, I was really surprised when I heard that they were coming to our school to look for people, and I was kind of like freaking out a little bit, and I was the second person in line, I think. Yeah, it is surreal. It's a really cool opportunity.
The second I found out about this, I had to be a part of it. There was no way that I could not be a part of this.
This gives us an opportunity to find the up-and-coming storytellers, animators, artists, giving them an opportunity to get their hands on real-life experiences and create these really fun, amazing videos for us.
So I'm going to start off and simply just cover the basics of this project. A number of teams will write a number of different storyboards.
The first part is a bit of a competition. We have it set up where we've opened it up to the whole school to come and present their ideas to us.
They'll be submitted to 2K and Gearbox, and we're going to look at them critically.
And then we're going to take those ideas and whittle it down till we find the best stories that we can, and then those top 3 will be moved into production with the animation students.
And then we're going to promote the hell out of it. We have a lot of eyeballs on our 2K and Gearbox YouTube pages, on our Facebook pages. The Borderlands Facebook page has over 1 million likes. So every time we say something on it, that's 1 million eyeballs that see it immediately. Our goal is to inspire you to, be imaginative and create your own stories.
Be provocative and kind of shocking, but also make it look like a lot of fun in this crazy world.
But you're on the world of Pandora, which was used in Borderlands 1 and in Borderlands 2. It's kind of a chaotic world where bandits and everyone kind of roam freely, and everyone really is craving for loot and power and guns and stuff like that.
We're trying to create a real-world life scenario. You actually get to experience what it's like once you get past, the walls of your school and enter the working world. We're really excited to work with you to create something that's original and fresh in this really cool universe.
One more time, give it up for our friends here. I'm excited with you guys for this project.
If I was a game designer, I think I'd focus on trying to have a game that had an interesting kind of mechanic, even if it wasn't a long game, to tell a deeper story.
The biggest change in video games since I started was going away from gameplay for gameplay's sake to having the ability to have a lot more narrative context, a lot more meaning, the why. Why am I here? Who am I? What am I doing?
I do really want to be able to create my own stories within video games eventually.
We see an amazing amount of creative talent being used to create games that are beautiful and that provide transcendent experience.
I think we're talking about whether games can be more than just fun now, and I mean, we talked about it in the past, but it's certainly hitting a fever pitch now.
You could say, is it fun? Well, in a way it is fun, and you're doing this hard work, obviously, to gain something in return. But whether this is the feeling of pleasure, I don't know. It can be the feeling of just being part of a community, of having strong, powerful emotions.
Some games are just pure fun. I'm jumping on turtles and Goombas. That's just fun to me. I'm not. Mario doesn't make me think of anything. It's my favorite series ever, but I've never Mario. It's not like that.
Most people want
mindless things that they can enjoy, and that's okay.
If that's all that you have time for in your life, to just play a real quick game of Angry Birds on your phone, by all means, all the power to you.
Games need to be fun on some level because otherwise we really wouldn't play them. But most people quickly move beyond the need for games just to be fun.
Some of the most personally meaningful experiences I've had with art have come through video games, and finding a way to take all those strengths of the medium and sort of tie them to emotions or ideas that aren't just sort of popcorn movie stuff is, I think, a very noble goal. Video games are now hitting at a point technologically where they're so technologically advanced that a lot of people are rightfully saying, like, okay, cool, we've got all these amazing, bits of tech at work. Can they be about something other than just, making things explode?
Game mechanics are basically how the game works, how it plays, what you're supposed to do, what the rules are. Game mechanics is the difference between chess and checkers.
Shadow of the Colossus is probably one of my favorites because it was the first game that I ever played that taught me that game mechanics themselves, not narrative mechanics, but just game mechanics, can convey emotion and ideas.
The reason why life is fun and why life is worth something is because we can experience emotion.
There's a part about halfway through the game where you've been fighting all these bosses and you have to sort of defend yourself against them and kill them all, and it's very video gamey, and yay, I defeated the boss, I'm so great. And then about halfway through the game, there's this one really beautiful bird boss, and it can't kill you. It can do absolutely nothing to hurt you in the slightest. You can't possibly die. And then there's this light switch that flips in your head that says, oh, I have to murder this thing. I've actually been murdering all these bosses, and it makes you rethink everything you've done, and not a single line of dialogue is spoken that makes that switch happen.
It's not an easy game to play. I mean, it's not the sort of thing that, you're gonna be like, oh my God, what a week I've had. I'm gonna sit down and play some Cart Life, It really is a game that you sit down and you play and it transports you and it really makes you think.
The systems in Cart Life are incredibly good at putting you in the shoes of somebody that generally you wouldn't maybe understand what their daily life is like.
In the role of real people that feel very authentic and they have real challenges. It's not saving the world, it's basically you trying to survive. It's you coming up with rent money, interacting with your kids, trying to pick your kids up from school, just trying to get the things you need to survive.
And the basic gameplay of the game is you wake up, you try to schedule your day in such a way that you can get all the things you need for your cart, whether you sell coffee or bagels or whatever the hell, and then you just go to work. And you have to manage your time properly, and you have to basically get all the math right of giving people change.
And it's crazy how it transports you into these lives and really makes you not only care about the characters, but because you're the one driving the gameplay, you're the one with all the agency in the game, you start to really experience this different life and these frustrations of just trying to make it day to day and how difficult things are if you don't have certain basics and just how challenging life is in general. And it's amazing.
You feel through the way the mechanics work a sort of simulation of what it might be like to be one of these people, to feel like the axe is just over your head all the time, that maybe tomorrow I'm not going to get enough customers to pay for my rent. You get to be that person. You get to experience that stress for yourself. Personally, I actually can't finish Cart Life. It's so effective at making you feel stressed out and scared and nervous and helpless. I can only play about 30 minutes of it at a time before my heart starts beating and I get too nervous and I just feel like, no, I'm just gonna screw this up and my cat's gonna die and I just have to close the game because it's so effective and so real. I've never had to stop watching a movie because it got too emotionally real for me, ever. I had to stop playing Cart Life after 3 or 4 times of trying to continue it.
It made me, impressed with what somebody was able to do with a medium that I thought I completely knew. So there are a couple games like that lately, and it's been really exciting to sort of see how the whole medium's developing.
It was really amazing to me to move from my hometown to San Francisco and then be surrounded by all of these creative people who make stuff and realize, oh, these are actually all just regular people who do awesome things, and we have a lot in common, and I get along with these people. And then it was a shock again to find out, oh, am I one of these people? Oh, whoa. Like, it was a weird thing to get used to, sort of discovering myself somehow being on the other side of the imaginary line that somehow I had invented as a child.
I am Bradford Corbin Helm. I am in the animation program with focus in storyboarding.
Gearbox and 2K are partnering with AAU to give students an opportunity to play with our universe, the Borderlands universe, and create these little short films that can earn them an opportunity to have an internship at 2K, which is a really exciting opportunity.
The fact that these kids get to work on something and then present it to actual game developers has got to be a dream.
Coming from being a student to being in game development as a profession is challenging.
Today's day and age, it's more organized, it's way more competitive. There are thousands of applicants every year. I think that the major difficulty lies in having your resume or your body of work stand apart.
My name is James Bourne. I am a graduate student here at the Academy. I am specializing in 2D animation storyboards.
I get this question all the time. What can I do to get into the industry? What can I do to be successful?
My name is Mario Grilli. I am in my 3rd year here at the Academy of Art. Video games are kind of my life.
My name is Matt. I'm an illustration major.
And I'm Lloyd Hoshide.
Yeah.
I'm a longtime video game fan, and I've been doing concept art for a long time.
I'm Sandra. My name is Sunny Solomon.
I'm Leslie. I am a storyboard major.
You have to shine. You have to show everyone your passion. You have to be able and willing to do just about anything to stand above and make people realize that you're really in it to win it.
Games are all about interactivity. It defines it as a medium in distinction to these other things.
There's something about what we're doing now, in a video games is at the forefront of it, where the entertainment is participatory. It's interactive. You are part of it. If I watch a movie, I'm passive. It's great, it's fun, and it's enjoyable to experience the story, someone else's story.
You sit in a movie theater and you watch, an action movie, and every person in the audience is meant to identify with the action hero.
You're feeling exactly what the author or the creator intended.
In games, you're not just identifying with the main character, you're becoming the main character.
You are in control of that character, like you decide that story. It's true that there is a start and an end, but how you get to that end, it's all on you.
We're built as creatures that want to poke something and watch it react to what we're doing. And so when our entertainment works in that way, it's the naturally most exciting choice for us.
With video games, you actually have decision-making ability, and you can learn about cause and effect. You can make your own decisions. You can try things and then try them again.
An action movie might get our blood pumping, get us going. We know John McClane's walking away from that. In the game world, you might not.
Right now I'm just kind of finishing up, cleaning up the boards, getting everything kind of packaged together, I guess.
I know you could do it, girl.
I think we want to try and get the psychos away from Salvador and make it feel like they're escaping.
It's 3:12 in the morning, and I gotta kind of be quiet because my wife and kid are asleep. I've been working on this guy's crotch exploding for the Borderlands 2 storyboard contest. What am I doing with my life?
I think it speaks volumes that we've seen this for the past 4 or 5 weeks in a row, and it's still just as funny. if not even more funny every time.
This is home base for me on, was it Friday morning? Always gotta have my coffee.
Just getting some work done right now. But yeah, got everything I need for tonight. Beans. And brandy.
Storyboarding is what I do and what I want to do. I love being able to take an idea or someone else's idea that works from a page and create a visual illustration. Instead of using verbal language, you're visually telling somebody what's going on.
I'm at a point right now where student loans have dried up. I got fired from my job because I spent so much time on this project.
They want more storytelling than like big cinematic sequences.
Don't tase me, bro! Don't tase me, bro!
Hello, and welcome to Claptrap's Story Hour. You're in for a treat today.
Let me tell you a story about one of the worst days in history. It was a day when all the guns went missing.
This is all outside of schoolwork. You know, this is all kind of like on our own time.
Doing all of this and keeping up with all this work and classes and everything else has been kind of overwhelming. I'd feel so awesome if I could know that I could push through all that crushing stuff and still be successful.
I think games are a way for people to experience alternate lives, alternate universes, alternate reality.
It's about exploring what we like to call new subjectivities, new subject positions, what it's like to be someone else. Something that books have done and movies have done and television shows have done, and games are doing in a completely new way.
Watching a documentary about anxiety is so different than playing a game, and seeing like how that sort of affliction affects you on a day-to-day basis. There's a game called Machinima by a transgender woman named Maddie Bryce that's just about what her experience of being a transgender woman is.
It was an experience I wanted to share with my best friend, something that we've had conversations over and couldn't quite understand. And instead, I chose to use play as a way for her to understand what I went through, and have her go through the different avenues, like, well, if she had a choice to do things differently, what would happen?
It's putting you in this position where you're experiencing things firsthand, things that you don't understand or that you don't normally experience.
If I tell you something, it's still a very surface thing. Like if I just speak it to you, it's not your experience. But if you then go through and do it yourself, then you internalize it. And that becomes something that you can take with you. I make my games as a way to tell someone close to me something I can't express in words. I started the game with you making choices. They're very mundane. They're like you getting dressed for the day, or you eat because you're hungry or whatever. And very often I do face those things. Like, am I going to get up and feed myself, or am I going to take the time to be presentable for society?
There's something really potentially powerful about playing a game like Maddie Bryce's, where you're learning what it's like to be a transgender woman just by interacting with this world and talking to people and seeing the consequences of your actions.
After kind of making those choices and maybe not understanding why you made those choices, you go through and you just see how people just react to you. And it can be alarming. People by themselves do things that they usually do in very predictable ways. So why not make them do things that they're not used to doing? Why not make them experience things that they haven't experienced before? And so the designer itself is really important to that process, because without the designer, there is no experience.
We're outside of school. It's 8:30?
8:30, the night before the deadline.
Night before the deadline.
Slept at 10 a.m., got up at 1, went to class. As soon as I got home, I started working again. So it's been pretty hectic. Well, I mean, it's down to the wire. They have, like 6 hours to get it in.
We're all in this together, but at the same time, we're competing with each other for one thing.
putting it together. Slowly. Take to the 12th hour, man. Danger zone.
Right now I'm just kind of finishing up, cleaning up the boards, getting everything kind of packaged together, I guess.
At 2 in the morning I got an email saying that building the cylinder that would make the taser, which our whole story is based on. I mean, we need that taser. We'd have to rewrite everything if we didn't have it. Building it is out of the question.
As I said yesterday, the deadline is there because if it's not there on time, you are all dead to me.
I got an email from Mario saying, hey, guess what, guys? You need to finish and turn in your animatics by 2 p.m. Thursday. Now we have less than 2 days to do that? Oh boy, I'm in trouble here.
I've never had an anxiety attack in my entire life, but I actually had one last night.
I'm excited to do this because I feel like it's going to be throwing it back in their face, proving to them that it can be done in a short time. It can be done well in a short time.
Even if we don't make it, I'll feel like at least we got a shot at it. I just wanted the chance to be able to go in there and show our work, whether they like it or not.
When I was playing games with my brothers and we were holed up in the computer room and we were just playing, we'd waste vacations. We'd waste days and days just sitting there playing games. My mother was very concerned with what that was going to do to us long term. She's a psychiatrist, and so she always had these deep concerns about, you know, what video games are going to do to us, and which I remind her of all the time because she now has a Wii, and you know she likes to sit there and play, and there's all these studies proving that, you know, it helps, you know, it's mental exercise and it keeps people physically active, mentally active, and she loves it. And so from just me playing games on my own with a couple friends and feeling like we were on the edge of this, you know, new experience, to now games being everywhere, being absolutely everywhere, from all the members of my family to my youngest, to my young daughter, all the way up to my mom. It's incredible. It is incredible how much games have permeated into society.
My name is Carol Weiss. I throw a straight ball, and I try to go 3 clicks from the center, and then you just try to keep your arm straight and swing.
Initially, we had a lot of resistance from some of our longtime members, but as they saw people their age taking to it very quickly and adapting and being taught, they took much better to the video game with a senior teaching them than myself going over and trying to say, it's real easy, you just do this, this, and this, and it's no problem.
We have 10 teams, and we bowl against each other.
They saw other seniors doing it, and that was where our success blossomed initially.
Then we're on the computer league, the internet league, and we bowl against other all over the country.
Back in 2007, when we first got our Wii console and started the concept of Wii bowling and Wii activities here, we renamed it the Wii Room, and we got a couple televisions and started to make it available to seniors on a daily basis. They formed leagues where they get together and they use these activities to bring everyone into the center and stay for other activities as well.
I used to bowl with my grandkids at home, so I was bowling with the Wii before I came here. Not only do we play against teams here, but we also play different teams across the country. Sometimes you get frustrated because you have a certain spot you bowl on, and if you throw the ball just a little bit off, not as hard, until you can get yourself recomposed, you're in a slump there for a little while.
One time, me, Carol, and him, we all got a 300 in the same game. Your first 300, you get a picture, and you get your name on the plaque up there.
And it's nice because 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, only one, and then 2012 and 13. Every year we've had new seniors that become 300 bowlers.
I would go to the extent to say this place here saved my life. My wife passed away. I've been here practically every day since. I love it.
We're going to judge which of the pitches for different short films that can take place in our universe is the best and should go into full production.
I'm super excited to see what all these students have come up with. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm sure that I'll be surprised. I really can't wait to see what they have for us.
From all of the changes that you had to go through all of these weeks and just putting up with us and all the feedback and
The constant changing
attending,
of the parameters.
we are really just all very proud of you. Like,
Yes.
we're astounded.
I don't know, it's been a great experience. Learned a lot. Had a chance to make a bunch of storyboards. Pretty excited.
We're all peers, we're all friends, and we're also all a competition.
It all really just comes down to the judges right now. We've worked hard, we've devoted a lot of time and effort to this project, and I really hope that it pays off.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and this is my medic.
Hey guys.
Hello everyone. Sorry. How y'all doing today? My name is James Bourne. I'm a first-year graduate student here at the Academy, and this is my presentation of A Deadly Game of Musical Chairs.
That was really good. That was really, really good.
Games are really one of our oldest cultural forms.
Everyone is a gamer. You just have to figure out what their game is. We all have like an aunt or grandma that plays bridge with her friends. That's her game. That's what she gets into.
So what is the pleasure, the deep pleasure in games, and why are we built so that we want to do gaming? I think that it is this very important human need to synchronize our activities with one another and to celebrate the magical ability that humans have to know what another person is thinking. Look at chess, look at Ring Round Rosie. You know, where you hold hands and everybody falls down. And what's wonderful about both of them is what's wonderful about video games. The things that we use in games are the things that we use for developing our communicating power with one another.
The Borderlands world is such a crazy, enormous place that something as simple as a mime can unify everything to a really low level of entry to this, so you don't have to be a super fan of the game. I think the ones that topped my list, they all had very easy premises, and they started with something that everyone knows.
What do you guys think about like us independently all ranking ours 1 to 6, and then we just see how they match up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then we'll discuss it. Yeah. I chose Bradford because that is the one that I could imagine with the least amount of changes I could see out in the world. Very little of our feedback is even needed for that thing to be a piece that I'd feel good about being out there. It was just a fun piece exploring the craziness that is Claptrap.
My feedback last time was like, make it better.
Yeah, like keep doing better.
That was my feedback.
Every time I say it, you do better.
Right. I was like, I don't know if James's idea can ever bounce back from being super dark because there's so many midgets exploding.
way he was framing his shots, the way he storyboarded the whole thing, I thought he really was very, very strong in that aspect. I just wish he wasn't so sadistic.
Everybody here agrees like James is probably the clear leader when it came to some of those aspects of the artistic.
Cinematic framing, and
clearly he's talented as hell.
Right.
Missed on this one, so.
I just thought that Sandra's was really a unique, original way to solve that problem. She kind of turned all these expectations on their head.
I really liked Leslie's because even though it had some of the weakest dialogue, once the premise kind of clicked, I thought it was really, really clever. It
was a very clean beginning, middle, and end.
Everything just clicked. Like I knew what she was going for. I knew, what the story was. That one stood out the most for me.
So Team Harding, I was still just as confused as you guys. So now they went from my favorite to my least favorite, which is crazy.
Probably the most well-versed in the game and the biggest fans. They were trying to way too much, and that's why it didn't read as well as the simple one idea of good cop, bad cop, or mime.
I think the 3 months we picked probably did the best job of working within the restrictions that they had.
So how do you want to break the news?
I'm sure from what I've heard that we're going to be really upset after we finish picking. So if you do lose, then get back on the horse. Clearly what led you here was passion, and passion is something that losing can't take away from you if you're really careful about it, and as long as you maintain that, you'll get somewhere.
I just wanted to start off by saying thank you guys so much. Your hard work and your passion has really been demonstrated through this entire project. We're absolutely blown away by everything that we saw. Unfortunately, this was a really difficult decision to make, but you will not be moving on to the next portion of this project. It was an incredibly difficult decision to make. Your storyboards were great. We want to make sure that you guys know how much we appreciate your hard effort and your amazing work.
That's the way it's going to be out in the real world too. Is you're going to have things where you're well, this one didn't make it, but even though it was awesome, sometimes things outside of your control just doesn't happen.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
That was brutal.
What is the word?
My mom says
that is above brutal.
James, I think, was the number 4. Obviously we wanted him to be one of the finalists. And even those other guys, they would have been too if we just had one more round. I mean, the caliber of stuff that we saw was right there.
All right, guys, so I will start by saying congratulations. You are going to move on to the next round, and your storyboards will go into production. This was a tremendously difficult decision. Really, it came down to your ideas were simple and elegant and executable, and that really pulled through in your storyboards.
Blow us out of the water. So we'll be providing all of you with some written notes and feedback about some of those things that we talked about, so that as it moves into 3D and everything, you can think about adding some tweaks and improvements there.
Awesome job, guys. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thank you. Yeah. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
People keep thinking that art is higher than design, and that there are, design is either an embellishment or making things functional. They don't understand how design is really leading the way these days. Paola Antonelli, I work at the Museum of Modern Art. I'm a senior curator of architecture and design, and in particular, I work in contemporary design. It is not easy to make video games be accepted in a collection like MoMA. Interaction design is one of the new forms of design that are so important. It's the behavior that human beings take when they interact with machines. And you know, all sorts of machines, but especially digital machines. Video games are like the purest form of interaction design. The importance of video games has been evident to me for a long time. They can be fiction or non-fiction. Most of the time they're fiction. They can contain lessons for life or be pure delight and entertainment. And I do believe that they are a new form of communication that is in par the level of novels or other forms of narration. I can see them as a means of helping people experience what others are going through. We could really be brought to feel true empathy, which is frankly the goal that we should aspire to. So it's very important that we keep on demystifying this side to video games and that we keep on really hammering on the idea that they are as important as other forms of art. I do believe that also they will get more and more important in society, and that children already are being taught and given the tools to make their own little video games, but it will become even more so, and the video game attitude or the gaming attitude will become even more embedded in the education systems, as already it is.
I think the core of any good game is a fun experience. But what we've discovered is that there's fun in learning. People enjoy the learning process.
Using the top.
Nope, that's a semicolon. Say semicolon. So I'm a K computer teacher at Wheatland Center School, and I've worked here. This is my 3rd year, and I am, I primarily focus on teaching kids core subjects through video games.
My name is Jason Tadlock. I am the superintendent of the Elkhorn Area School District in Wisconsin. Today, I think, is a very exciting time. I'm very excited about education. We're in a huge paradigm shift.
First you have to go to your little Kodu face and right-click on the saucer, or left-click on the saucer.
The roles of video games in Wheatland, it's really far-reaching. And these video games, again, take many shapes and forms. It significantly impacted the student engagement level.
I was in the Tuesday-Thursday computer class last year, and we did an entire project on building this school in Minecraft.
When I find something in Minecraft, I build something original, Minecraft pistons that opens one thing and then closes immediately once you step off.
And the object isn't to beat another person, but it's to work and figure this out together.
I recall last year we brought through a group of engineers who were there at the school to identify what building changes do you need, what updates are needed. But as they walked through our classes, they were more mesmerized by what the kids were doing, how they were interacting. And I'll never forget, as they walked into one of the classrooms, they turned to me and said, I can't believe this is exactly what it's like in our office. They're arguing and debating over the best way to build and create this. This is exactly what we do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Technology has revolutionized what we do here.
Our test scores have skyrocketed in every test that we take. As far as video games go, it's definitely a piece of our puzzle.
We first started around roughly the 30th percentile nationally. 70% of the schools, across the country were doing better than us on average. 2 years later, we're well above the 90th percentile nationally in reading, mathematics, and language arts.
We've gone to the exceeds expectation category on our district report card. The community was flabbergasted by how we were able to do that. And I think it's all about engagement.
That's some redstone over there. It's a redstone converter. Watch, you just jump from this block, jump from that block, to 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 that block. I'm free. Almost like a real world, except you're free. You can do what you want, when you want, how you want.
Kids love coming to school here. We have 450 students here, and almost 200 of them stay after school.
We have an obligation to keep up with what are our students interested in, because it is shaping and changing the way the kids think, the way they get engaged, and the way they see the world.
When I first saw the storyboard for Bride of Frankentrap, I pretty much just went and said, I need to animate this.
They took my storyboard and just basically did the same thing, but in 3D. And I'm pretty excited about this whole thing.
The way the process works is we have a person, a director, currently a director, someone who has a story that they really want to tell in this really awesome, creative way.
It's been funny taking it from being, my project by myself, where I had, complete control over all the timing and everything like that. And now all the animators are going through and kind of fine-tuning it, so everything that was rough is now becoming more and more refined.
It's just really fun to watch it come to life as a real thing.
This is shot 19 that's featured in Bride of Frankentrap, the third short film, directed by Leslie. This is when the audience knows that Claptrap's in love and that he is in love with this washing machine known as Belinda. Think of like a moment when you're like infatuated. If you see someone you really like, your crush basically, you kind of get this rush feeling, what they call the butterflies. We kind of needed to basically visualize what the butterflies would do to a robot. And that's pretty much what's being shown right here, with a beautiful arc and a little bit of a swirl.
Animation is all about acting. You don't think about it that way, but we are actors. We just, rather than us up on stage, we act through our characters.
I can be a little midget robot that runs around and squeaks, or I can be, a voluptuous blue-haired, vixen. Like I can, not that I would want to be that, but I could be whatever I want. So that's what I love about animation.
As an actor in a movie, you can be like, I want to storm in angry. All you have to do is feel it, and your body naturally does what it needs to do. As an animator, we have this performance we have to deliver, but I can't deliver it as me. I have to deliver it as this character.
The tremble in the bandit's head and the subtle caress from Claptrap there, it all just works so well to sell the mood. You can look at the shot and they nailed the acting.
So you go, you sit and you think for a while, you come up with this performance, and then hopefully, if you've thought through it really well and you're true to who the character is, it gets approved. This is what I pitched as my animation idea.
I just installed the top-of-the-line interrogation chip. Can you believe I got a 95% discount on it? Some people are so gullible. Check it out, dirtbag. Bad cop mode. Good cop mode.
If you bring a story to me, I'm that person who's going to give you the performance you need to tell your story.
This morning at 3 o'clock was the first time I slept since Saturday. Music and sound effects have been working like straight through the night. We're 6 hours away from delivery. And we're almost done.
All right, well, that's exactly what this is. This is it. This is the last minute, completion of the project, and we'll see how people like it. On a scale of 1 to 10, my pressure stress level is 11, 10.5, 11.
All right, that's it. Finished. Hitting render. An hour till the party.
Having seen these things go from storyboard to animatics to full rendered pieces with lighting and complete animation, it's a neat experience, and I hope all these students appreciate what they've been through.
I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of 2K's heart, for all of your hard work.
Let me tell you guys a story about the darkest day in the history of Pandora. this mess. Check it out, dirtbag. Bad cop mode. Good cop mode, if you're lucky, but mostly bad cop mode. Nobody is going to harm a hair on your head. Woo! That got a little intense there for a minute.
When I first became involved with computers, there were these gigantic mainframes, and we used punch cards and things like that. And computers were for kind of serious academic purposes. So the very first game I actually programmed was on a deck of punch cards, and it was a tic-tac-toe game. And in those days, you'd go to the card reader, submit your deck, walk around the building, and somebody would hand you a printout with the results of your program. And one day I was working on my tic-tac-toe game, and the woman behind the counter who was handing out the printouts looked at it and said, "Hey, this is a game, you're playing a game. Computers are not for games, they're for serious things." And she wouldn't give me my printout. Probably the reason I became a game designer was to show that woman that computers were for games, not for just serious things. When the Atari 800 computer came out, really the first fully functional personal computer that you could make games with, I grabbed one of those and combined my interest in computers with my passion for gaming and started writing games. That was really kind of when it came together for me in terms of computer games.
A question that comes up a lot is, how can I get into the games industry? How can I find the way in?
I think a lot of students feel like we're ready to get into the professional world, but we don't necessarily have opportunities to do that, to break in, and they're like, here you go.
The gaming industry, it's tough because it's really hard to get into. It takes a lot of persistence, and you have to be fine with getting shut down regularly.
So it was a huge deal that 2K and Gearbox came to our school and had this contest. As a student, you don't get a lot of opportunities to work on something as big as Borderlands.
I like games. I just put the two together and declared myself to be a game designer.
All it requires is a passion for games. If people want to make games, if they're passionate about them, there's a spot for them at the table, without doubt.
I just want to be able to work on great video games, really, whether it's concept art or storyboarding or, making animatics for the video games. Any kind of that kind of thing would be great.
The internship has been going super well.
Well, the best part is being able to work on games. It's amazing.
Being able to participate in the whole Borderlands project and being able to be here at 2K means that I have a solid foundation to build my career on.
The internship's going great. It's just really exciting being able to work on games. I didn't think I'd be able to do this for another 2 years. I thought there'd be that long period of, not doing anything between graduating and getting into any kind of industry. It's super fun.
Average day, I work 10 to 7. I get in here and I get my tea or water or whatever, and I sit down and I make sure that I know which thing is highest priority for me to work on, and then I can just put on my headphones and listen to some music and get focused.
It is a pretty big freaking deal. A lot of people start out in, startup game companies and more of the indie game developers and stuff like that. But this is 2K. I mean, they have released like a lot of really amazing games. So it's a pretty big deal.
Basically what I'm doing on my internship is one of the big cinematics that will be in the game. It's a big, exciting action sequence with lots of characters, and it's different from anything that I've done before. I'm taking all of the designs and the written script, and I'm turning that into the storytelling. Well, this one is cool. Games are a visual storytelling medium. You don't tell the story with words, you tell it with the things that you see and interact with. So my job is making sure that the story is communicated as effectively as possible.
I draw pictures to help make games.
I animate and add special effects and create little short films that will be in the games. It's awesome. I also have to go to meetings where we talk about how the game is developing and how the cinematics are going and what things are going to be changed. This is one of the rooms we do playtests in. We will have a bunch of people come in here and all play it together, and then we can give feedback on whether or not things are working, whether or not things are actually fun. We test to make sure that the game is worth playing. I do really want to be able to create my own stories within video games eventually.
In the future, I'd really like to work in the gaming industry.
It would be really amazing to me to create something that was meaningful and powerful that I could share with the world.
It's a very exciting time to love games, to play games, to be involved in making games. Minecraft, to me, is the best representation for what the future of games could be, where people are sharing in the experience. You see families playing Minecraft together. They're sharing the experience and they're playing because there's not really any rules, or people aren't really necessarily concerned with winning so much as they are with being creative and having these new experiences together. And the future of games is probably expanding into that space, having not just games that challenge our preconceptions about what games are, but having games that are more like these shared worlds that people can go into and have these new experiences.
When I let my mind go free, I feel like we are still in the dark ages. Like we haven't even had our renaissance yet.
What we have right now is a small part of what everything could be.
We're still just beginning to grasp what's possible with the idea of interactive entertainment.
It is, I think, going to be a methodology that we use in this century to solve the world's problems, whether those are making a better iPhone or getting water to people in Africa.
Everyone will play these video games and we will mature as a civilization with them.
Part of the appeal, I think, is the way it changes and evolves, and new technology comes out, and then new games come out to take advantage of the new technology, and then those drive the technology further. So we're seeing, in terms of graphics and connectivity and all sorts of things, games getting better and better, and the technology getting better and better to support that. So I think gaming has an incredibly bright future.
The first push forward is going to have to come from the players. I think the players are going to have to vote with their words and with their money in terms of saying, I am interested in newer, broader experiences.
There are all kinds of different experiences that cater to all kinds of different people and have all kinds of different emotional and artistic and ideological ranges.
I really like to see a future for video games where you have crazy comedy video games that are about comedy through gameplay, like QWOP or like Magica, or you have your amazing tragedy video games like Cart Life or The Walking Dead. Seeing a really wide array of that kind of stuff can only help in the long run. You'll just attract more people to the medium, and you'll get better art because people want to be exploring all these things and feeling like they're not sticking their necks out by doing so.
It's not an experience that's going to go away. It's something that I think will become more and more integrated in the lives that we lead.
They're a really interesting form of entertainment. They're interactive, they're compelling, they have some very unique qualities. I think games are going to take over the world.
Tell me a story or sing me a song. Make it a good one and I'll sing along. Tell me you love me, oh tell me to go. Just tell me anything I didn't already know. Super.